Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. It's week one of my Boston Marathon training. So I'll give you my recap. And this year I'm trying a new plan. Last year I did an 18-week alternate plan for Boston where I had a like hard run on Tuesday with pace work. And then on Saturday, every other Saturday, my long run would involve marathon paced efforts. So this year I broke it down to I have a 14-week plan that I'm trying, and I have a hard workout usually on Tuesdays, some type of tempo on Thursday, and then a long run on Saturday, and everything in between is easy. So yeah, so I'm just curious to see how I do under this plan versus the plan I used last year. Last year I was working full time, so it was hard for me to do my long tempo on Thursdays, which is why I never did the 14-week plan. But now that I'm working part-time, I can give this 14-week plan a full swing. Of course, I hurt my hip, right? And so I was like, oh, I still can't do it, but there's hope, right? So first I'll give you an update on the hip. Hip felt really good this week. I'm still doing all the things, right? I'm still doing the dynamic runner. I use that app, and they say for strength training, the best, what do they say? The best strength program is the one you're going to do, right? And so I thought I gotta not get hung up on like how much the weights are that I am using and this and that, because when you get hung up on the nuances, it becomes overly complicated. And what happens? You don't do it. And I was doing YouTube videos before and I just didn't enjoy them. But I do enjoy this Dynamic Runner app and I don't dread doing it. So what I've been doing is the intermediate strength program. It's 12 weeks long. So I'll do one of those workouts, and then the next day I'll do the hip mobility. And so I kind of alternate between those two. And my hip felt really good this week. I don't know if it's the app that I'm using. I don't know if it's just time heals all wounds. I don't know if it's me walking on the PVC pipe and doing the foot strengthening exercises with the towel. I don't know, but it's feeling really good. And so I'm very happy about it. It's one run at a time. And every time I finish a run, I like literally rub my hip and I say, great job today, hip. Great job. Good job. You did well today. So I'm just happy. Like every day I can run is a good day, and everything else paces. That's all a cherry on top. Because once that gets taken away from you, once you're like, shoot, like I can't even run, you start to realize what a privilege it is just to be able to be healthy enough to get out there and run. So now I'm like, sure, my goal is a sub 340 for Boston. Sure, I would love to do that. But now I'm like, just showing up, just being able to toe the line healthy is my number one priority. And anything beyond that is great. So let's talk about week one. So on Sunday was day one of my week one, and I did 6 miles at a 9:31 pace, and my heart rate was a 145.4. So that is higher than I like it to be on an easy run. I like it to be below 140. Probably should be in like the 135 range if we're going to get real technical. Do I wear a heart rate monitor on these runs? No, I don't. I have a wrist-based monitor on my Garmin. And I know it's not heart. If you're going to get accuracy, you need a chest strap. But I figure it might not be totally accurate, but it's accurate in terms of measuring whatever it's been measuring based on my wrist, if that makes any sense. So I do kind of use it to gauge like what my normal range is. So that was high but whatever, my body's still recovering. So even though I'm able to run, my cardiovascular system is still catching up. So I just have to be patient with that. Monday, I ran 6.12 miles and my average pace was a 9:52. My heart rate was a 137. I ran that with my friend Stephanie and we just chat the whole time. It was freezing cold, like 38 degrees. For California, it's cold. You guys are probably like 38 degrees sounds like heaven. Well, here it's cold and I have to wear like something around my ears and all that good stuff. Tuesday was an interesting day because I had hill repeats, and it was a 2-mile warm up and then 8 times 30 seconds downhill. So I just ran up and down the hill, and it was a freeway overpass. That's all I have access to at 5:30 in the morning. And it was 5:30 in the morning. So it's like you use what you have. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. And I just lap pressed my watch, and if I had to do it again, I would have programmed it, because turns out at 5:30 a.m. I'm not a great counter, and I kept like stop, I would start it and I'd count to 30 and then look at my watch, and then it would be like, oh, 45 seconds. I was like, wait, this is terrible counter. But anyway, I got the workout done. I ended up running 5.5 miles. My average pace was 9:50. No, what was my average pace? 9:30, and my heart rate was a 139. And then that evening I went to my runner's high track. And this is where I get myself into trouble, because I love running with my run club, but now that I'm training for Boston, our schedules really don't align, because on Tuesdays, I don't always have track work. Sometimes I have hill repeats. So I went that evening. I thought I can do a little bit. I haven't seen them for a while. My husband bought a runner's high jacket that I wanted to pick up. So I ran 1.25 mile with a couple of people there who just did the Catalina 50-miler over the weekend, and they're like ready to bust out track workouts on Tuesday. My hip would freak out over that. But just 1.25 mile, it was 8 minutes, 34 seconds was my average pace. I didn't even notice it. Like, I was like, oh, I finished, but I was running with them and we were chatting and they're telling me about their 50-miler. Wednesday, of course, is an off day for me. I did a strength workout that day. Thursday, I was a little nervous about Thursday's run. It was 8 miles and I had 4 1-mile repeats. And I was supposed to do the mile repeats between an 8:05 and an 8:11 pace. And I was way too fast. Well, not way too fast, but I was faster than. And one of my goals this cycle is not to be faster than, but to be in the range. I'd rather be on the slower end of the range than go too fast, because what happens when you go too fast, or at least to me, is that it will lead me into overtraining. And I have to be very careful with that. So my first mile was a 7:45, and I thought, oh, shoot, that's too fast. Then I slowed it down to a 7:48, and I was like, all right, getting better. And then I slowed it down even more to a 7:55. I was like, okay. And then my last one was a 7:57. So they gradually got faster. I'd rather be like, first one's like 8:10, right? And then it's like an 8:05, and then it's an 8. Like, I'd rather work this way instead of this way, but I was really trying to get into that range. But I'm also testing out my hip too, and my confidence isn't great. And what happens when my confidence isn't great is I push it, because I'm trying to prove that I can do it. And rather than just having the confidence and knowing that the pace will fall into place. So I forced it. I didn't finesse it. That's a Sarah Hall saying. Finesse it, don't force it. Well, I forced it and I didn't finesse it. And that's what happened. I was happy though, and my hip felt really good. So I ended up doing 8 miles on Thursday, and my average pace was an 8:43. So between each repeat, there was a 1/4 mile recovery, and I didn't feel the need to stop or anything like that. So that was good. I always know it's a jogging recovery. If I feel like I have to stop between the recoveries, then I'm pushing it too hard. My average heart rate for that was a 153. Friday, I did 6 easy miles, 9:21. Average heart rate was 143. Again, overdid it. My easy run pace is a 9:15 to like a 10:42. So high heart rate for that. But again, my body is just trying to catch up. So it's amazing how much fitness you can lose when you take a couple weeks off of being inconsistent. But, that's what happens. You got to recover. So, just grateful to be running, honestly. Saturday I did 10 miles. My long run pace, the range for that is 8:45 to 9:11. And my average pace for the 10-mile long run was an 8:43. So again, a little fast. My average heart rate was a 154. I will tell you what did me in though. The ego did me in, because I was running home and I was on one side of the street and there was a gal on the other side of the street, and I could tell she was racing me. And I was like, she's racing me. And so I would pick up the pace and she would pick up the pace and I would pick up the pace. And then we ended up stopping at a stoplight. And that's what got me under my 8:45. I was in 8:43, but whatever. I felt really good. My hip felt great when I got home from that run. So I'm happy to know that I can push the pace a bit and my hip is okay. I think one of my strategies for this cycle is not to, if I do track work, like I have a track workout on Tuesday, I'm going to try not to fall below 7:30. There's really no point for me to. I did a lot of work in the summer on the track, working on my 5K, working on my 10K, and I just really don't want to upset things. And when I do speed work, my hamstring starts to act up, and there's just no reason for me to go there. I know that that's a trigger for me. So I'll do my 8 times 600s. I'm going to keep it around 7:30. That's the plan for Tuesday. And the next Saturday, I have a hill workout. I think I'm just supposed to run hills the last mile of the workout, like on tired legs. But I'm going to go to Palos Verdes and do it with some friends, the 50-mile friends, because 2 of them are running Boston. And that's where they're going. And I was going to go. So it's like, okay, we'll see how that works out. So that was week 1. So I'm happy to report it went really well. Interesting thing, because, I'm in the Boston training group with Luke Humphrey Run Club. And so he does webinars, like he did one on nutrition, and he directed us to a website called Precision Nutrition. It's totally free, precisionnutrition.com. And you enter your age and your weight and your sex and your level of activity, and do you want a low fat diet, a high, a regular diet, whatever your diet is. And then it, your level of activity. And then based on that, it tells you like, this is how many grams of protein you need per day. This is how many grams of carbs per day you need, blah, 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 blah. I need, are you ready for this? 146 grams of protein per day. I can tell you, I'm probably on a good day getting half of that. So now I've been more mindful with my protein. Like I usually have a smoothie after a run. But now I'm going to take those Fairlife protein shakes to work with me. And like when the kids go to recess, I'm going to drink one, and hard-boiled eggs for snacks and things like that. So 146 grams. So now I've just been much more mindful of, if I'm hungry, I'm like, okay, what snack can I have that's like rich in protein? I got to work on that. And then also he told us about, I'm a big LMNT fan. I love it. The only thing I hate about it is that it's expensive. And I love the raspberry salt, and I'm like, whatever, it's expensive, but if it's going to keep me hydrated. But then he talked about this, it's called Relight. And I looked it up on Amazon, and the ingredients are really good. And it has, LMNT has 1,000 milligrams of sodium. This has 810 milligrams of sodium, but it's a really good dupe for LMNT, and it's very healthy ingredients. And I hear that the watermelon lime, that's what I got. When I read the reviews, everyone said it was the watermelon lime is the best. And I have to say it's a great LMNT dupe, element. How about that? It's a great element dupe. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and it's got really clean ingredients. So if you're looking for something cheaper, this is a good option. If you don't care how much you spend, and you like Element, stick with Element, but I wanted to share that. So anyway, so hope all is well with everybody, and I look forward to seeing you in week 2, and fingers crossed. I'm like, my hip is still doing good, doing well. I should say doing well. That's proper grammar. All right, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.